Okay, so in our last video we talked about a very simple formula, sodium chloride. So now let's do something that's a little bit more fun, and let's do aluminum oxide. So this video, the formula for aluminum oxide. Now, aluminum is going to be 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1. So there are 3 valence electrons. Okay, so in order to fill out the valence shell, aluminum would have to gain 5. So given a choice of either losing 3 or gaining 5, the quicker way is to lose 3. Plus, aluminum's a metal, so we know that metals lose electrons. And so aluminum, when it forms an ion, boom, boom, is going to lose 3 and become the aluminum ion right there. Now, there's no Roman numerals with the aluminum ion because aluminum's not a transition metal, and it can only be a +3. Now, when you think about oxygen, oxygen is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. It's a very small element, but it has 6 valence electrons. Okay, so in order to go back, and that would be a long way back to 1s2, it would have to lose 6. So it's not really going to do that. It's going to want to gain 2. And so instead of losing, a nonmetal gains electrons. So this one's going to gain 2, and then that'll make it 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, and it'll have that nice full valence shell. So when it gains 2 electrons, it's going to be negative. So that's going to be oxygen -2. Okay? So now I've got a +3 and a -2. The formula is not going to be ALO, and I don't know how many times people try to do that. They just put one of each and one of the other, and we're done. No, you're not done. You got to think about it a little more. So the method that I prescribe here is take your positive, take your negative, and it's always positive, negative. The positive always goes first, the negative comes second, and you got a +3 and a -2. So which side is smaller there? +3, -2. Okay, now don't think absolute value, not the positive versus the negative. But the 2 is smaller than the 3, so I'm going to add a 2. Only add one at a time, and that now my charge is 4. Okay, so because I got 2 of these, -2 plus -2 is -4 versus a +3. Which side's smaller, 3 or 4? Obviously 3. So I'll add 1 here. And notice I don't say, well, I just need a +1 aluminum. Aluminum's not a +1. It can't form a +1. It doesn't do that. So now I've got 6 versus 4. What's smaller? The 4. So I'm going to add to this side. Okay, that was an ugly O. Don't judge me. And so now, oops, I've got +6 here, -6 here. Those charges cancel out. And that's going to be what my formula is. 1, 2 aluminum, 1, 2, 3 oxygens. And so Al2O3 is aluminum oxide. Boom, boom. There you go.